Hi, Duke. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for having me here.
So first of all, just introduce who you are.
I've always been fascinated by how technology can improve lives and transform organizations. I have dedicated almost like 2 decades leading digital transformation programs. I work closely with C suite members and senior stakeholders to set the clear technology roadmap. I provide overall delivery leadership to SAP, cloud, and the AI initiatives. And recently, my focus is on the latest ERP from SAP S4 HANA transformation. That's the key one. And also, I'm working on the AI innovations and how to integrate them in the enterprise ecosystems.
You've certainly generated some fantastic content and you've really helped me a lot in the past. So I just wanted to sort of get you in to sort of like have a conversation with us and to see what you're doing. I think what tickled me most recently was that you were out in Riyadh and you attended Leap 25. Do you just
Yeah.
want to give me a little bit of a background? What is Leap 25 and what's it all about and why you were there?
Leap 2025 was a incredible experience. It's a biggest tech fest in the region, in the Middle East, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and this was geared up to the Vision 2030 to build the technology capabilities and digital infrastructure in the region. It was well attended by the various different global companies across the world. And I had the opportunity to speak to industry leaders, the founders of the startup, and to see the amount of innovation and the growth that is happening in that region. So it was overall, it was a great experience to see how the region of Saudi Arabia is transforming and building the technology capabilities across all the different aspects of the region.
Right. So let's get to the juice. Give us your view of what you saw and how it impacts what's going to happen over the next couple of years.
I think one of the key push that is coming from them is around the cloud adoption as well. So more and more applications that we are seeing, they're built natively, they're on cloud. So in future, we will see the customers using the different hybrid cloud applications. So that's the key one was, and then we, of course, we had this our own AI tool within SAP, which is Joule. So we had multiple new features that were focusing on Joule. Hyper automation is the other one. I think that is the key theme across the board in terms of automating all the manual stuffs that we have within the finance processes, the order to cash, the
Mhm.
P2P side of it. So those are we'll see more automation side of it. But one of the key thing, and this is primarily with talking to a lot of stakeholders and customer side, was this growing regulatory complexity that is coming that's around for large global operations. So that is one area where I see there will be a progress, and especially around this compliance and ESG, sustainability reporting. I think those are the key areas where we will see more focus. And also from technology perspective, we will see low code and no code teams. I think those are already kicking off, where we will have more ability for the developers and for the organizations to create their own custom apps. So that is one of the key thing that's happening. But but if I want to summarize, and when I'm talking to all those people, so the focus was more around these thinking systems, that as I refer it, because traditionally we have been using the ERP systems, which I call it non-thinking, because you give them the input and there's a logic behind it and you get the output. But with this new AI systems, which are more thinking systems that are coming along, so we will have more of these agentic AIs that will be built in this corporate systems as well, which is more like thinking within our the ERP space. So that is one of the key thing that is coming along, and we'll see more agentic AI kind of applications that will be built for the SAP customers.
Really like what you're saying around the thinking machines piece and
Yeah.
that whole piece. So when we say thinking systems, you're meaning AI, but what about robotics? What do you see going on in that robotic space as well currently?
Yeah. So when I'm referring to these thinking systems, I think currently what we have is we have a ERP system, and then we are layering up with the AI capabilities that are having. But again, this is what, like, we never know the next S4 product. So we had this R1, R2, R3 ECC, and then S4 HANA. My view is the next product post S4 could be a ground up, a completely AI system which is built on the LLMs, and these LLMs are trained on the corporate ERP data, and then we will have this finance P2P, or all these processes. They are being powered by agentic AI. So it's completely new product itself. I think, I don't know if it's like 2030 or 35 or 40, but that's what it's
No.
looking like. That's
Yeah.
the future of the ERP applications.
What's your view about sort of like AI and data and that whole piece around clean data at the moment?
I mean, this is very interesting as well, because I think the way that currently that we are having all these LLMs, they're trained on A data kind of a thing. So whether it's good or bad, but they're trained on A data. But then there needs to be a point where it needs to be exposed to the new, because every day we are creating new data that is coming up. There's something new that is being generated as well. So there needs to be a capability within this AI systems where they have been trained on X, but then they are also enabled to train on the new data that is being created on the continuous basis as well. That's how these AI systems would be able to
Yeah.
update themselves. And that's
Yeah.
really a capability, and that's where we call it
Yeah.
machine learning and all those concepts that are coming along. So it's really important that AI understands what has happened in the world today. So it needs to be up to date on all the global happenings. So that's quite key aspect as well in terms of training that to the
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. What else? Anything else from that?
We've already covered most of the points as well, especially around this the new
Fantastic.
cloud, the robotics, and thinking systems. So it's
But I would say my final takeaway talking to you is that the stuff we're talking about, we are deep subject matter experts in this, so we know our stuff. A lot of our peer group don't. Um, but what we're talking about is totally different from what you're seeing on LinkedIn
yes.
and what the majority of the consulting industry is talking about, and what we're talking about is totally different. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we're over here and most of the industry is over there still?
I think it's just a perspective of time in terms of the where we are currently. So uh, when I what we look around, it's more like a continuous improvement kind of thing that's happening in that space. Yes, S4 has been a breakthrough innovation. Around that is at this point of time is a continuous improvement, and what we have been discussing about this new thinking system, the thinking ERP system, and powered by this agentic AI, where most of the business processes would be this agentic AI enabled. In that space, I think we need a new architecture altogether. And I'm sure somebody would be working on those lines as well, especially creating the ground up ERP application based on these new principles that we are seeing around.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I would wager when you look at the Gartner data and the data out there in terms of S4 take up,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So we know, so our good friend John Simmons
Hmm.
put out a post last year just saying
Yeah,
you have to read between the lines in terms of the number of people who've really taken up S4, because a
yes,
lot of those customers are actually running S4 and ECC together now.
yes, yeah, yeah,
So they separated it, so maybe the back office has gone to S4,
yeah.
but the operational front office still remains in ECC. And I think that's fascinating. Speaking to our good friend David Lowson from CAP, He made a point to me a couple of years ago in terms of what they were seeing was exactly that, where customers were doing line of business migrations to S4 rather than big bang. So
Yes.
you would almost see that the first consumers of this new style AI agentic ERP will be the customers who are stuck on their legacy ECC, who
Yes.
want to move production planning,
Yeah.
want to move plant maintenance, want to move MRP, and who
Yes.
can't. But this is going to free them up. You can almost see where the revolution is going to sit in terms of the take up of this. It's almost that S4 will hang around until 2040, but very much in the back office function, which is
Yes.
great because it's really good at that.
Yeah.
But the AI agentic stuff is very much going to be based around our operations because that's where the real value is. You know, it's going to be about productivity. It's going to be about product lifecycle. It's going to be about all those things,
Yeah.
not about AP automation and that.
And this is where there is a threat and opportunity both for the existing incumbents ERP providers as well,
Yeah.
where they have these traditional ERP applications, and then there is an opportunity for creating these new AI-enabled the ERP applications as well. So that's where we need to see how the space is emerging and who are the winners in this space.
I'll leave you with one passing thought and then we'll finish, we'll wrap up. But when you look at SAP's investment in the public sector in the UK alone,
Yeah.
they a couple of years ago they pumped in 250 million into the UK public sector practice. And that's paid dividends because they've obviously won revenue in customs, DVLA, who are SAP customers anyway, but they've now picked up the S4HANA RISE migrations, and there's a lot more going on in public sector. You'd
Yes.
imagine at a point in time you'd be able to train the new future AI ERP just in terms of local government or central government models. And then you've got this AI engine, this AI ERP, which is wholly tuned to public sector, just
Yeah.
like that. And it
Yeah.
puts SAP very much in a driving seat in terms of dominating whole industry sectors going forward. Fantastic. Right. Thank you very much, G. Enjoyed that.
Thank you very much. That was really great. I mean, yeah, I think it
Good
was
conversation.
amazing. Yeah.